this afternoon. I will take it from the last gentleman, the senior advocate, talking about judiciary. And I will probably just talk on my practical experience based on my own personal, what I've done in public service all my life. What I consider probably the most important thing that we should be talking about and see what we can do about it in the war against corruption. Let me just talk on the practical side of it. I hate to be referring to myself, but please excuse me, because all my life I've been in this business, and I've learned a bit, and I've seen things that I now consider maybe probably the biggest problem confronting us in the war against corruption in Nigeria. Certainly corruption has done a lot of damage to us, destroying this country, destroying the economy, the security, the unity of this country, the image of the country. It's an existential threat. Unless we do something, there is no way we can move forward. And in my own experience, I started it right from my NYSC days. I was part of the team that did the prosecutions. I've been a prosecutor all my life in 1984-85. The miscellaneous offenses, the recovery of public property decree. I was part of the team that implemented it. And I saw exactly what happened. The work we did in 1984-85, when there was a change of government, immediately all those things were thrown out and we ended up with nothing. And it continued like this. I was also part of the team that did the the failed banks inquiry. And it was a wonderful work we did. When the government changed, those things that we did were all thrown out, including, of course, some of the convictions that were personally recorded. And they were all reversed and thrown out when there was a change of government. Obi is there, and she's a witness to what we did during the Obasanjo days. Obasanjo administration was wonderful, incredibly amazing transformation in Nigeria. Obasanjo domesticated literally all the conventions, the protocols, the charters that the world came up with that will help countries to fight corruption. That's how we got the ICPC, the EFCC, NIT, Fiscal Commission, Responsibility Commission, all of them, almost all of them were done by Obasanjo, and so many other reforms that he carried out. And today, people will say Nigeria is one of the countries that do have all what it takes for you to fight corruption as a country. We have institutionalized them. We have the laws, we have the everything. And somehow it made a difference. The gentleman was talking about judiciary. I can assure you, really, some of the biggest problems that we faced is the judiciary, and it remains so up till now. But the point I'm trying to bring, because there is no time, so I'll just pick a few most important I consider. It's about those who are in charge of our affairs, the politicians. Those now we have democracy, and individuals are given mandate. They are voted to come in and do literally what they like with us. And it's something that we cannot do much about. It is how they feel that they will manage the country. We have seen a couple of political leaders in our country and what they did. I gave you an example of what Obasanjo did. And immediately after he left, most of the things that we are talking about, some of them changed completely. And we've been unable to literally recover from some of the things that the damages were done after that. I consider political leadership very, very important in war against corruption. Without good, honest, quality leadership, competent leadership, it's almost impossible for you to move forward. And this is what is obtained all over, not just Nigeria, but developing countries. We tend to rely so much on our leaders. They take the country the way they like. Obasanjo gave us chance. Obi was there, and so many others. And Nigerians saw what really happened. And since then, I cannot pinpoint one single institution, new thing that has happened, or that is a new thing in the war against corruption in Nigeria, other than some of the work that took place during that period somehow been unable to see the result of them. Talking about the judiciary, in 2007, we had about 13 cases that we took governors or former governors to court. And the same cases, probably we got about 3 convictions recently, but they are all cases from the Obasanjo days. And so many of such cases are lingering up till now, not to talk of recently what we have seen happen. I think it's after political leadership, where I think that all of us must understand, unless competent, honest people join politics, it's not likely that we will be able to address this problem. You have to sacrifice. If you get good, honest people who are in charge of our own affairs, it's likely that they can also bring good people to come and join. And you see difference in the management of corruption is about public money. Everything that is happening in our country today comes from the public money, whether it is in banking or whether it is in the industrial sector. It's all money from the public. Unless you are able to safeguard it, control it, make it in a way that you'll be able to get value for it, it is not likely that you can do much. It makes sense for, if you are not joining politics, please encourage others to join. It's frustrating, it's very difficult, but it's something that unless we are able to make impact in that direction, it's not likely that we can see much difference. Second, of course, the judiciary, the justice sector as a whole, not just judiciary. And there's something we've done about it, to clean it up, to sanitize, to get honest and quality people, competent people in charge of it. It is also not going to be easy for us to make a headway. The same thing with the law enforcement side. The law enforcement is in charge, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's not the private sector, it's not the civil society, it's not any. They are in charge, they are the ones who are going to build up cases and then bring it through the system to the judiciary for us to get results. I'm all talking about enforcement side of fighting corruption, which I consider extremely very important. My take about going forward in our country, I think we need to look at it critically. You spoke about last week, talk about our constitution. Maybe it's difficult to do much about it. What is it that is possible for us to address? Work extra to get honest and good people in government. 2, maybe it is time for us to sit down and have a good conversation about ourselves. And hopefully we may be able to come up with some form of understanding and agreement how we can manage our affairs, including, of course, maybe talking about the fight against corruption, to have a national charter and a strategy, an agreement that will involve all the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature, including, of course, the federating units, the states. Come and sit down. Let's agree and let's fight this thing with spelling out exactly the role and responsibility of all, and an agreement, for example, between the executive to sit down with the judiciary, to sit down with the legislature and the state governments, and have a charter that all will sign that we are going to implement this. Hopefully, maybe we can start seeing a difference. We have seen the damage. You can take 1 step forward and somebody will come and take you backward, 2, 3, 4 steps backward. It is time for us to look at it critically and insist that maybe it is very important we can have a conversation about having an agreement in this country in the war against corruption. Without doing it, it's not likely that we are going to do much in all other areas. We must stop this mindless, very primitive accumulation and theft of public money. It is public money that is fueling this thing, and it has destroyed us as a country, as people, as everything. It is time to address it. Hopefully, it's a good starting point. I don't want to go into the details because there will be no time. I've just picked what I consider most important points based on the experience I've had. And we've suffered. There are so many people in this profession that have gone through difficulty and without much to show for it. The work that we did in the miscellaneous offenses, the work that we did in the Fed Banks, the work that we did in 2003 and 2000, why is it? And there are so many people like that, and you will end up being vilified, destroyed. I think it's time for us to have a good conversation about this country. It's the most important issue that has to be addressed. if we are going to move forward, solve other problems. Thank you so much.